Hello, everybody. We're here. It's happening. After a month and a half or two of planning, we finally get to start the City of the Crimson Tower. I am so excited to be here with all of these wonderful players. So, before we jump into tonight's episode, could everyone please go around and introduce themselves? Not who you're playing yet. We'll get there. Just you. Jump in.
I'm Lauren. Hey, it's nice to meet you. I'm here. And good luck with that.
Hi, I'm Anna Margaret. I'm super excited to be playing tonight. It should be so much fun. You can find me anywhere on the internet as Anna Margaret, and it's going to be an awesome game.
Hi, I'm SallyQuinnCreations. We are all very awkward people, so this is an enjoyment to watch.
I'm Matty, or Mithril Cosplays, and I can't wait for Ethan to scare the shit out of me.
It'll take a little bit.
Hi, I'm Mav. I let the ladies go first, because it's the good thing to do. Also, I'm a black guy on the internet, so have a great day, and can't wait to play this with all my friends. So, yay!
Just a few announcements before we jump in. First of all, again, thank you all so much for playing this game. Those of you who are in the stream right now, watching later, listening later, thank you so much. It means the world to all of us. On that note, we are a bunch of friends playing a game, and we're actually playing a game in a system that most of us have never used before, Savage Worlds, specifically using the Adventurers Edition combined with horror and fantasy. So there is a lot of new, and some of you in the stream are likely going to, most of you I would imagine, are likely going to be learning the system along with us, so we're still going to be asking questions, looking up rules, because that is part of the game. I did say this is a horror-themed game, I think, so on that note, it is an 18-plus stream for language, for content, so just be warned about that. Last thing I think, and you all can tell me if I'm wrong, but would be to clip your favorite moments. I would love to see them, because I go into a bit of a fugue state while I'm DMing, and have very little recollection of it later. And I have to piece it all together like out of some kind of drug-addled haze. So when you make clips, it really helps. Thank you. Appreciate that. Any other announcements anyone can think of? Well, in that case, let me set the mood really quick, and then we can jump in. An ornate desk of crimson wood dominates the back half of a large office. The sounds of music and revelry and sex can be heard from somewhere outside this room, maybe below, maybe on the same floor. But the woman who is seated at the desk seems to take absolutely no notice of this. A crack of lightning stretches across the sky outside of the 12-foot-tall windows. As the lightning fades and the thunder shakes the glass, the low-hanging, heavy thunderclouds become tinged with red from a neon light outside. And as the rattle and rumble of thunder settles, the sound of a fountain pen scratching can be heard. We see from a bird's eye view that there are 4 pieces of paper on the desk, adorned with the script of a practiced hand, and the letters seem, from here, nearly identical. As the woman seated at the desk returns the fountain pen to its gold and mahogany stand on the desk, a fifth letter is slid forward to join the other four. The woman crisply folds each letter like a soldier snapping off a salute. And the door to the room opens, the sounds of laughter and screams grows louder for a moment. A man enters and closes the door behind him, shutting that moment away, and he waits patiently by the door, silently. He is wearing a very crisp three-piece suit, a pocket watch chain dangling. He has coal black hair slicked back and dark grayish skin. The woman at the table delicately grabs a pot of melted wax and meticulously seals each of the letters. Even with all this progress, I still find the old ways are the best ways. Don't you? Of course. The vista is waiting downstairs as you instructed, my dread lady. Good. She purses her blood-red lips and blows on each of the seals for a moment to cool the wax before bundling them together and handing them to the man. I am simply starved for entertainment. And she walks to the door. He meets her there, opens the door for her, and she strides out into that cacophony. And the door shuts. And we are left in the empty office room, the pulsing red of the neon light. And the camera fades. When it opens and the camera returns, we are somewhere completely different. A gruesome crime scene. Let me shift the ambiance here. There we go. The scene that we see doesn't need to be described. Not in intimate detail. When I say it's a gruesome murder scene, what you see in your head, it's about right. There are several people milling around, keeping their general distance, murmuring to each other, unsure of what to do. We then see a figure enter. Lauren, could you please describe your character for us and who we see coming this way?
So you see a stocky, relatively short for a Firbolg gentleman in a heavy pocketed coat with fabric tied over his shoes, carrying a small bag and wearing a hat brought down to cover his eyes. You can see little bits, little tufts of graying, light blue fur. And as he approaches, the light from the moon glints on his glasses. And you see that they're very large, wide-rimmed, and he has a soft, unassuming face.
And as this figure approaches this grisly scene, what do you do?
He doesn't lift his eyes to meet the gaze of anyone on the scene. He just simply holds his bag tightly in his right hand to the side of his body and tips his hat gently with the left.
A dwarf separates from one of the small clusters that had been hanging around and walks your way. Investigator Brooklyn. It's an honor to meet you. I've heard great things. We appreciate you coming at such short notice.
He doesn't look up. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Can you take me to the scene and be sure that it is clear?
Of course, everyone, step back, clear this. People step back even a little bit further. And as the dwarf leads you into the room which contains this scene in this tavern, he explains to you, we weren't able to find anything that might be scryed on. Whoever did this, they were cautious. Made sure that they didn't leave anything behind. No one saw anything. Apparently no one heard anything, which is a damn shock looking at the states of it. But... And he just kind of puts his palms up and extends his arms, giving you the room, essentially, and stepping back.
He tips his hat and pulls his bag slightly closer to his body, moving his coat as he does. You hear a slight jingling as the bag makes contact with one of the inner pockets. And he, as if ritualistically, kneels down, his knees creaking as he does, and unwraps his shoes, takes them off gently, sets them at the door, takes his coat off, opens his bag, rattles in his hands in the bag as he takes in the scene, seemingly without any emotion attached to it whatsoever. As he takes a big, deep breath, he rustles a vial from his bag and he pops the cap off of it, puts it in his hand, swirls it, says something delicately under his breath, and as smoke rises from his fingers, objects in the room are illuminated. Slight things, small things, stray hair here, a fingerprint here, a blood smudge just there. And he gets out his notebook, sits down cross-legged, and begins to trace what he thinks has happened.
You begin as you have done so many times before. It is muscle memory, it is rote. You are a particular fellow, and as you indicated to the dwarf to clear the area, you need your space to work. there is a as you turn and look at the door that you entered in, leaning onto the door frame a little bit, is a rather vanilla-looking man in a lot of ways. There's nothing that noteworthy about him, aside from the fact that he is wearing fairly, at least for this part of town, fairly garish clothing, close to jester colors in terms of the brightness. At least in a few sections, a scarf, an interior lining of a coat, and even the cut of his coat and his clothing is unusual to you. But as he leans on the door, "Are you Brooklyn?"
Not now. I'm in the middle of something important and must work quickly.
You turn back away from him, and just a few seconds later feel a light tap tap on your shoulder as he taps you with a letter. "I'm in the middle of something important too. This is for you."
Thank you. Is that all?
Look over your shoulder, and you just catch the back of him as he's already leaving the room. And we see... Oh, go ahead.
At first, he wants to set it down, but as his fingers make contact with the paper, he feels compelled to know what's within it. Very unlike him to get distracted, but he feels the pull as he opens it.
And we watch as the Firbolg breaks the red seal on this crisply folded letter. And the camera fades out. What we see next is a very different scene entirely. We pick up in a small, relatively, by the scheme of things of the Sword Coast, a relatively small town. But for a town this small, they have put up one hell of a pit-fighting arena. And as we hear the cheers of onlookers, the squeals of excited children, we see two figures in this muddy, churned up pit. Both of them are bare-fisted. No weapons in this. It is a bare-fist brawl. One of them is wearing a large head mask of a rhinoceros with a long arcing horn sticking up a good 1.5 or 2 feet, and is currently riling the crowd up as he's thudding his chest and turning and getting the audience to cheer on his side. And on the opposite side of the pit, we see who?
You see a 6'3" caramel colored man wearing a black and purple panther luchador mask. The mouth is cut out, but his face is obscured between mixtures of black, purple, down to the tights, bare-chested. His hands are wrapped, and all he does is just lift his hand and call out, "Pantera! Pantera!
Pantera!" The crowd picks up the chant immediately, and it does kind of drown out the cheers from the other side, which the other pit fighter certainly takes notice of. Now, I would like to, for this narrative moment, Mav, put the description of this fight entirely in your hands.
So, the Grand Pantera, the Great Panther, points at Sergei. His name is Sergei. He doesn't like when you use his real name. Makes fun of him, tells him to come on. We lock hands. But Pantera's kind of underestimated how strong Sergei is.
There is, and as the camera was in close as the two men rushed forward, interlocking fingers and bracing against one another, the camera then pulls out, spins around, and we see two, especially as they are now forcing their muscles against each other, two incredibly jacked men here who are trying to get the upper hand. At one point, Sergei pushes forward, causing Grand Pantera's boot to slide back in the mud. But then, how do you recover from that and push Sergei himself back?
What Pantera does is he slides back and, using that force of being pushed back, jumps up and knees Sergei in the face.
And as you do this,
breaking the hold.
As you do this with a crack, as he starts to stumble backward, quick pause. Mav, if you turn your camera on and off really quick, it'll fix the blur. Yeah.
We can blame Stan for the scrying or
No
problem.
one saw anything. You come up with a crack, and Sergei, this is an exhibition match. There were some discussions that were had beforehand about how hard you were going to go on each other, and as a few chips of teeth come out with his spit, there's a part of you that kind of feels like you might have crossed that threshold. And as he comes back down and just pulls the rhino head up a little bit, and you can see the blood from his mouth, and he just kind of whispers, "What the fuck, man?"
I'm sorry.
Back into stage persona immediately, and comes charging forward, but you can see that you did a little bit of damage. So how does this fight end?
When Sergei comes to charge at me, I'm just going to grab Sergei, pick him up in a powerbomb stance, jump up, and beast bomb him onto the ground.
Yep, and as you do this, you know that you didn't actually knock him out, but he is very much calling this fight as complete. The crowd erupts at that final display of athleticism and bloodthirstiness. And the crowd explodes. As we see the Grand Pantera reveling in the applause, we cut to just about an hour later. Pantera, what would you be drinking to after that fight?
Grand Pantera will be drinking to the prosperity of the town, the kindness of the people, the admiration and the love of the sport, and just the camaraderie and revelry, and the fact that I put smiles on kids' faces and all of that, just out there having a good time.
So what would you be drinking?
Rum.
Rum?
All the
right.
rum.
And as this is happening, And Sergey is with you just on the opposite side of a tall table, and he's currently, like, worrying at his chipped teeth with his tongue. Really? It's not that noticeable? You don't think?
No, it's not that bad. And look, you know what? Here. And I'm going to slide him some money to fix his teeth. My bad. I slipped on the mud and went too hard. I'm sorry.
There is a tap on your back. And you look down and you see a girl of about 11 years old who has essentially the Sword Coast equivalent of your trading card, and has a little small piece of charcoal and has come up to you. Grand Pantera, if I know you're out and my mom told me not to, but I didn't know if I'd ever get a chance again. Could you possibly sign this?
Of course. I'm just gonna put the liquor behind me. Who do I need to make it out to?
Oh, Maria?
Maria?
I mean, I doesn't need a last name. Just knowing you signed it, that's all.
Oh, no, I don't remember.
Don't make me
taking
come
this
up with
photo.
last name for this random NPC right now.
I'm not doing that. Listen, okay, Mary, I didn't know if you had more than one card. It was fine. I'll sign as many as you need. I don't remember taking this photo.
Oh no.
Here you go, my
It was
dear.
a paparazzi shot. And as you hand it back to her, she is just glowing with excitement. Thank you so much, thank you. And turns around and like points excitedly at her mom, who is just shielding her eyes from this social faux pas.
Gonna wave at Mom.
And as you turn back to Sergey, he's just shaking his head at you.
What? It's fun. I enjoy doing this. We're good at this.
About simultaneously, you feel a tap on your back and you see Sergey pointing over your shoulder.
Oh, another autograph. No problem. Oh. Hello.
Standing right behind you, relatively nondescript man, late 30s, who is wearing a strangely cut coat for the style, but with bright interior lining. Bright toggles on his vest. You the Grand Pantera?
Yes, I am. I'm always welcome to see new fans.
Oh, yes, I'm a fan. This is my fan mail, and he hands you a letter.
Oh, well, thank you. Do you want an autograph or anything? And goes to turn back around.
Yeah, you just look down for a second, you already see him just pushing his way through the crowd, leaving.
Oh, I got a fan mail, Sergey. Look at that.
And he just, the head shaking he was doing has just carried over as he's just...
Look, your trading cards do just as well as mine.
And he points to the letter. And we see from overhead as the Grand Pantera breaks the seal on a crisply folded letter with red wax. And the camera fades away. When it fades back, we are once again in a very different scene. Smoke fills this room that is adorned with silks and tapestries and heavy pillows, luxurious fainting couches, fountains for absinthe, racks for long-stemmed pipes. It is dimly lit with flickering flames. As the camera moves through this space, we hear sounds of every type of indulgence. We pass rooms where Men and women are throwing coins into the center, gambling as scantily clad individuals of all different species refill their drinks and refill their pipes. We see stern, stony-faced guards who have the incredible quality of guards who are paid very well to not notice things. And it is absolutely remarkable the things these guards manage to not notice. But what they do notice is when anyone crosses the boss. And we pull into a room where we see several figures prostrate, slumped in chairs, folded on the floor, curled in couches. Smoke from incense and smoking herbs fills this room. And counting coin. Who do we see, Matty?
You see a rather tall, for a humanoid woman, tiefling actually, with pale skin, like almost ashen white. Her hair is long and braided with various gems and jewels cascading down her back. She's in a incredibly low-cut dress that is just laced on either side, showing her skin, and she is counting what appears to be the 10th or 12th bag of gold, just carefully, meticulously counting, packing away, and jotting down in a ledger. But as she bundles up the last book, she is going to look up. Isabella, dear, would you please get my kit? I am done work for the day. And she's just going to close the ledger and look up to probably the youngest person in this room, and the only sober person in this room, Isabella.
And Isabella is a young lizard folk woman, and she has skirts that hang from her waist, nothing on her top half, and she just releases herself from where she had been curled in with some of the passed out individuals, and she saunters over to a glass cabinet and opens it, and we hear the sound of clinking of glass and metal. And when she returns to the desk where you are and lays it out, what is it that we see that she lays?
As she lays it out, you see a beautiful, luxuriously red velvet case that holds a a creamy ivory long pipe with various little pouches of different concoctions, different drugs. But the one that Karina opens is opium, and very obviously opium. And she's just gonna measure out the perfect amount without even paying attention, pat down the pipe. That's good, Isabella. You can go for the night. And she will lean back, put her feet on her desk, and light her pipe.
And Isabella lets her fingers trace your shoulder as she walks and saunters from the room through the curtains by the door. And so what do we see now as you are not alone, but the only mostly conscious person in the space?
You see she's going to lean back almost dangerously far into this chair. It's not like a sofa chair or anything, but she's going to almost push it back so it's on just the back two legs. And she's just going to take a deep drag from the pipe, tap it out, and just close her eyes almost in a light nap sort of state, ignoring those individuals moans and noises around her and just kind of resort back into her own mind.
Over the next 20 or so minutes as you indulge, a guard comes in, reports a very minor issue that you swiftly and easily deal with. And then you are left on your own again for a little while. It is quite late. And you hear as you have sunk into a bit of a haze, though that is getting harder and harder to accomplish. As you sink into this haze, you hear a Do I have the wrong room for the boss?
You very well do have the wrong room. I'm not doing business right now. Please come back in the morning.
Oh, my lady, you misunderstand, though. And he does look you up and down as your feet are kicked up on the desk. If you were, but that is not why I'm here. Other business. And he holds up a folded letter. I'm just a delivery boy.
I think when he mentions other business, she'll actually open her eyes and acknowledge him. Just leave it on the desk. I'll get to it later.
He walks forward and drops it on the desk. And then you've closed your eyes once more. You didn't hear him walk away. So you crack an eye open, and he is just standing there very lecherously.
Fine, whatever. She'll sit up, place her pipe, which was like sitting across her chest, on the table. Just pick up the letter and just roll her eyes dramatically at him and just crack the seal.
And as we hear the crack, the camera fades once more. Oh, gotta find my notes. Ah, wonderful. As the camera comes into view once more, we find ourselves in a raucous tavern. There are drinks flowing, music playing, stories being told. The barkeep is shouting at customers who are shouting back in return. This is a rowdy tavern on the Sword Coast itself, deep in Waterdeep. And judging by the state of some of the patrons, the festivities in here have either been going for a long time or go really hard really fast, because there are people who are definitely pretty far into their cups. And while there are countless figures in this tavern that we could focus on, the camera pans over to a table more in the corner than any of the tall standing room spaces. It's a little darker over here, but it's still well lit enough that we can see the faces of several enraptured listeners. And then the camera pulls over to the one that they are all listening to. Sally, who do we see there?
You see Hawthorne burn, a dwarf with a voice that can weave magic into words.
Love dwarves.
He's perched upon a line of, on top of the table a little bit, like leaning in so he could really talk to the whole table properly.
Oh, and they are absolutely vibing this body language. They're like, the more you lean in and you drop your voice, especially so that they have to focus to hear you over the din of the tavern celebration all around you, you have their undivided attention. Aside from the beer. It's a little divided by the beer, but that's really it.
Hawthorne is, as he has them all together, he continues with the story because he's in mid-story as we're interrupting him at the moment. And he starts out, but things took a wild turn when an ancient evil woke up in those parts.
Oh,
they called
did
it,
you hear that?
They called it the Shadow's Embrace.
Shadow's Embrace. Yeah.
It was born from the tears of forgotten souls draped in Twilight's cloak.
Wait a minute. How can you be born from tears of forgotten souls?
Don't argue with me. Just you come in here.
Yeah, you know who this is? Shut up. You don't know half of what he knows. Just shut up and listen. Sorry, go on.
Well, draped in Twilight's cloak, this guy was a malevolent creature coming in to the Whispering Woods to eternal darkness. You have to forgive me because this is my first time in the back and forth this time.
You're doing great. I'll stop. If it's distracting.
You're doing awesome.
It's all right. You can take a laugh break. Laugh breaks are allowed.
With guts of steel and a bow that hummed with purpose, Elwyn dashed into the heart of them Whispering Woods. You know what Whispering Woods I'm talking about, don't you?
Of course we do, yeah. Yeah, definitely. The ones to the north, to the south.
You've got it. Her every step was a testament to her unwavering resolve, an unyielding spirit of the forest.
And they just are getting drawn in with each thud on the table as you are just regaling them with this. And a server working here comes over and he scoops up the empties and drops a full one in front of you. It's on the house as always. What about you lads, though? Hey, what's this? It's Hawthorne Burn. You're not Hawthorne Burn. If you were Hawthorne Burn, you could get your beer for free too. Are you Hawthorne Burn?
No, he ain't.
No, I ain't. No, you ain't. So you don't get any free beer, alright? Thank you.
Now, come on, come back to this. Through that twisted maze of timbers and mists that hide her path. And then he picks up his drink and making sure that everyone hears his Elwyn faced off with the Shadow Embrace, drawing that wisdom of them woodland spirits to push back the darkness that aimed to sweep away everything she held dear. And when the clash between light and shadow erupted, the very core of the Whispering Woods trembled.
And as they are at the height of the emotional intensity that you have spent well over the last 15 minutes laying all of the groundwork for, you just hear from a fellow standing who walked right up next to your table. That a fact. Incredible story. Sorry, didn't mean to be eavesdropping. Simply had something for Mr. Byrne. A gentleman in a strangely close-cut suit jacket hands a letter over to you.
Are there any Mr. Burns here? I don't know any Mr. Burns here. You look like you're an auditor.
And he just gets a small half smile. And as he starts to smile, one of the guys at the table, "No, I thought you were Hawthorne Burn, right?" And then his smile just breaks into a full toothy grin, and he just drops it on the table in front of you.
You just have to speak up, don't you, Bernie?
Well, I'm sorry, what I do? And do you immediately open the letter, or do you tuck it away?
No, I start to look around at everybody, and everybody has started talking to each other, and they were looking where the guy went, and so I'm drinking my drink, and I start to take the letter, flip it in my fingers, because everyone obviously has forgotten my story. So I start to open the letter, and I crack the seal.
And as you do, we fade out of that scene. And as the camera fades in once more, we see a scene entirely different from any of the others that we have viewed so far. What appears to be a laboratory of some variety, but it is very stark, it's very bright, it's not what you would expect with a laboratory. It almost looks like if a stock image of a laboratory, in the sense that it is too clean, too bright, too neat in a lot of ways. And at the moment, there's only one figure in this room. And the camera slowly pulls in over the shoulder of this figure. And who do we see here, Anna Margaret?
At her lab bench is Dr. Gloria Goodwin, and she looks more like she's dressed to go out to dinner than to be working in a laboratory, but it sort of works for her. Her lab coat's embroidered with pearls and different intricate designs all over, like it was custom made for her, clearly, but there was obviously a little bit of a personal artistic touch thrown in. Scattered around, you'll see where there should be maybe stacks of papers. There's also like a doily with the papers kind of on top all around. Poking out of the lab coat are feathered white wings that sort of flutter in the breeze from the open window flowing in. While her hair is slicked back, and there is clearly an experiment in front of her that she probably should be monitoring a little bit more closely before it boils over, she's looking off out the window like she sees something that no one else is seeing.
And you hear a soft knock at the door.
I don't notice it. There's something I'm so close to seeing. If I just look a little bit harder, I think that there really is something out my window. Oh, but I have to look from this angle right there.
You're just dialed in to the inner machinations of your mind. And so you don't notice when your assistant knocks on the door. You don't notice as he quietly approaches. You don't notice as he stands 6 or so feet away from you and stares out the window as well for about a minute. You don't see the look on his face as it goes from perplexed to a sincere attempt to see what you're seeing, to a look of basically like, "Oh, doctor." And then he gently
oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Oh, goodness me. When did you get here?
About a minute and a half. It doesn't really matter. I was going to be heading home for the night, and I just wanted to see if there was anything that you needed before I headed out. Have you had lunch today?
Lunch. She's gonna try to look around.
It is tending towards twilight out the window.
No. But I could make us some tea, or you said you were heading out.
Let me get you something to eat.
I'll be fine. No, I'll be fine.
Doc, let me get you something to eat, and I'll fix your tea before I head out. It's no problem.
Before you do, just stand right here and look just there.
Okay.
Do you see it? It's almost like there's a red glow. Like, do you notice that? Just then, the experiment in front of her starts to bubble over, and there is a red glow as everything starts to kind of happen at once.
And
she's like,
your assistant is well trained to this and immediately helps to neutralize what was inside there. And it just takes the two of you a minute to clean it up. But as doing so, he's constantly kind of looking out the window at that place, and he has his eyes squinted. You don't think he's seeing what you're seeing?
He's not great, but he's an okay assistant.
And he, while wearing gloves, takes the sopping towels that you used. I'll go take care of this and I'll get your tea. I'll be right back. And he heads out using his elbow to shut the door behind him with a click.
As he goes, I take a second to kind of look at the failed experiment in front of me, what I'm sure I see out the window, and I'm just going to pull out a shirt that I'm working on, and as I kind of stitch on these pearlescent beads, I'm just going to keep glancing back up at the window.
You're not sure exactly how much time has passed. You get into those moments. But you then hear at the door. And I think this one is loud enough that even in your distractible or hyper-focused state might be a better word. You still, I think, notice that.
If you're back with the tea, you can just come in.
No tea. Just a letter. And you turn, see a relatively nondescript man, late 30s, close-cut jacket with a colorful interior. And he holds up a crisply folded letter. Are you Dr. Gloria Goodwin?
I think as soon as he holds up the letter, I'd immediately feel distracted. Do I notice anything
About him? Make me a notice check. First roll of the campaign.
We could have all noticed him.
I mean, you all noticed him.
Let's be real, 3 of us were highly inebriated.
So, with a total of a 2, the target number for most things in Savage Worlds is 4. So, you don't notice anything unusual about him, other than the clothing that he's wearing being not of any style or fashion with which you're quite familiar. Men tend to, at least in the Sword Coast current fashion, the jackets are a little bit looser, they hang a little bit longer. This is cut fairly close to the form, only goes to about the waist.
Darling, you look lovely, but if you're going to work here, there's a certain amount appearance we strive to maintain. I don't remember hiring another assistant, but I'm sure the people out front can help you.
And he gets a half grin on his face. I'll be sure to do that. Have a nice night, Doctor. And turns
Great.
and leaves. What does Gloria do with the letter in the next 10 seconds? Does she open it? Set it aside?
I imagine that while she wouldn't want it to distract her from what she's doing, who brought this letter? Who's this assistant? Did I hire him? I immediately grab the letter. But as I turn it over in my hands, something feels weird. And there's a moment where I know, oh no, I shouldn't be touching this letter. But I can't stop. And I crack the seal.
And with this crack of the seal, the camera cuts hard to black. And in that moment, we hear the sounds of a train station. And so, we have to run a little something now that we're shifting focuses. Where we pick up now, the sound of fine leather shoes scraping on a marble floor. Your shoes, you realize. Lauren, and I'm using your name right now. As a player, for a reason that we'll get into in a second. There's the hiss and grind and squealing as a train pulls in. Metal arches reach high overhead, and rain patters down on the glass ceiling several stories above you. An arc of lightning cracks across the black clouds. There's a layer of fog, even inside this indoor train station, that hugs the floor up to your ankles. All of this in front of you is crystal clear. But what isn't crystal clear to you is something much more fundamental. And that is who you are. You can't remember your own name or how you got here. You can't remember your childhood. You can't remember this morning or an hour ago. You have no recollection. There is another thing that becomes clear as crystal to you as you glance down the fog-covered train platform. And that is that you are not alone. All 5 of you find yourself in this same location, stretching up and down this train platform. The last of you on each end, barely visible through the haze, but you can still make all of the other people here out. And so what I would love to do, in the same order that we just went, who do we see standing here on this train platform? Lauren.
He's standing and hunched a middle-aged human male with sun-bleached auburn red hair, gold-rimmed glasses, a kind, unassuming face, slight hunch, and a very, very irritated demeanor, uncomfortable, anxious. In a long coat with a button-down shirt, suspenders, nice slacks, and leather shoes.
As you look to your right, the person immediately next to you. And we have this scene as like the camera runs down the train platform and we see each one of you basically looking to your right as you all see each other. And the next person we see is Mav's character. Who do we see there?
You see a 6'5" buff panther-looking man. You not a man, you just see a panther wearing a newsy hat. Most of his left ear is missing. His other ear is cauliflowered. His nose looks like it's been broken a few times. Only a face a mother could love. He is wearing suspenders with a blue button-down, undone, fuck a tie, fuck a anything. We can't breathe with this son bitch on. Sleeves rolled up. He has brown slacks and a dusty pair of boots. His tail moves within the fog. And he is smoking the nicest cigar that you can fucking find. Looks over at this unhappy individual fuck and just looks him in the face. What the fuck you looking at? And blows smoke in his face.
And the camera pans to the next individual that we see. Matty.
You see a woman in her mid to late 30s. Her hair is shoulder length and curled. She's wearing a three-piece pantsuit with a dapper hat and a widow's veil covering half her face. Her lipstick is dark red, and she is patting down her pockets, searching for something. And a slight look of panic crosses her face as she sees you two, and just kind of like turns a cold shoulder a little bit and continues to kind of rifle through her pockets and her pack to see what she has and try to find something.
And the next person down the line, Sally.
So you see a 6'2" minotaur standing in front of you, 6'5", about 300 pounds. He's sort of just looking over his body because, I mean, he doesn't remember anything, but he's like, this feels weird. And he's sort of swaying a tad because he feels like this is very up high for him. So he keeps looking down. But he is in full dress of a wonderful jacket with a tie and a vest. He doesn't have a hat just yet. He will gain one as we go. But yeah. So at the moment, he's not looking at anybody else. He's just like, he feels really funky, and so he's just sort of swaying in this spot.
And the last person that we see, Margaret.
Standing on the end, Gloria didn't notice the people next to her. She's too concerned by the fact that there's a train. And while I can't remember how I ended up here, I feel like I know that there shouldn't be a train here. And so what you all see is somebody who should probably have noticed you looking on to the side. She's got kind of lighter brown hair that's tucked neatly into waves, pulled it into a ponytail in the nape of her neck, mini pearls, kind of a tight evening dress that flares with little beads and fringes, but with two distinct holes that don't look like they were poked through, but have beautiful sewn edges so that two wings can fly out the back. Rather than looking angelic, though, she just looks a little bit like a bird that's trying to waddle on land and doing a really poor job of it. And so, even just in this moment of trying to find the train, I take like a little step forward to see if I can see it, and almost like trip over my own feet. I'm not quite sure how they're supposed to work on land yet.
And it's an interesting moment that you have, Gloria, because as you're having this feeling like, train, that doesn't feel right. You then have a very quick, immediate reaction of, why do I know what a train is? And maybe if I know what a train is, maybe a train is right.
It should be here, obviously.
Because otherwise,
My
why would you
subconscious.
know what a train is?
I know what's going on. I'm brilliant.
There is a click of a cigarette lighter, and there's an illumination through the fog here that draws all of your attentions towards a sixth figure who's standing near one of the heavy columns that support the metal archways that hold up the ceiling of this train station. He's wearing a very well-cut three-piece suit, has a red tie on with a pattern on it that you can't quite make out what the little symbol is that's repeating. Has a pocket watch chain, dark hair slicked back, a scar on his dark gray forehead. He's also, you see, holding a sign that has 5 names written on it. Gloria Goodwin, Hawthorne Byrne, Karina, Nyne, and Brawk. And he strides towards you all, his posture incredibly upright. And he looks each one of you over. Glad to see that the letters made their way to each one of you safely. You must be Nyne. And he cracks a grin as he says that and looks at the Rakashan, the muscled Black Panther of a man.
Yeah.
And he looks at each one of you, and there's a moment of realization on his face. You don't remember who you are, do you? That's unexpected. She'll be happy to hear that.
Who are you?
A humble servant of my lady. You may call me Rahadin. Now, for this evening's purposes, I am also your chauffeur. So, Nyne, Brawk, and he gestures to each one of you, one at a time. Karina, Hawthorne Byrne, and Gloria Goodwin. If you will follow me, I have instructions. And he turns crisply on his heel, sign now hanging limply in his left hand as he takes a draw from his cigarette and exhales, walking away.
Am I able to make, I don't know what the equivalent of an insight check is in this, to see if I can even, like, trust that he's not going to carry me down like a fucking dark alley and murder us?
So, I would say, let me take a quick look and see which one that would probably be. Could be that. This is why we have to learn the new skills. I think that would genuinely be a notice check. As of right now, that's what I'm going to go with. Unless someone sees a skill that makes more sense to you.
I think notice makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's the
Notice
of
makes
the
sense.
ones I'm seeing.
Yeah.
That or common knowledge, maybe? You could make an argument for that.
motherfucker.
You could make an argument for common knowledge.
I will do a notice check.
Okay. And while Karina is rolling this, just for those of you listening or watching, Savage World is not a D20 system. In fact, there will never be a single D20 used in this entire campaign. The players roll different dice depending on which stat they are rolling. So, what did we get, Karina?
10.
10, so that is with a raise. So not only do you get to notice some things, you get to notice a little bit more. To answer your immediate question, do you get the vibe that he's going to take you somewhere and kill you? No. Do you get the vibe that he was lying about being your chauffeur for the evening? Or has lied about anything he has said? No. That said, you do also still feel that there is certainly more to this man than you know. I did forget to mention, he also does have fairly pointed and long ears. But he is currently strolling away, and with a 10, I will also give you some visual things. You trace up and down the cut of his suit, and you don't notice anywhere where a weapon or a sidearm might be hidden away.
Okay, then I will follow him.
Was it Ryan? Did you say your name was Ryan up there?
He doesn't respond. You just hear the clicking of his fine leather shoes. Brawk.
As everyone begins to kind of shift and realign their reality, Brawk turns his back and he puts his hands on the small of his back and arches to crack, and then immediately goes back to hunch. He nervously shakes his jacket, wiping his sweating palms on the lapels. My hallucinations don't usually have so many other moving parts. I wonder what it is this time that makes it so different.
Fuck do you mean hallucinations?
This is all clearly a manifestation of something that this cannot be.
And then I slap him. Was that real?
I do believe that it was. And he looks up at you, not with like fear, but with shocked realization. I do believe it was. So, why are we here?
As you shout that, there is a pause in the footsteps that had been diminishing, and you just hear echoing. And the way it echoes is a little disconcerting, because it doesn't purely sound like it's originating from the direction that he walked. You can't actually pin down the origin of the sound as it echoes through this space. Because you were summoned.
By who exactly? And why?
No response at that moment.
I didn't sign up for this.
Gloria takes a second to look back at the people who are still trailing. I just thought we were supposed to follow. He said to follow, so I did. Are you all coming?
Well, I'm certainly not staying here. And he kind of puffs up his chest a little bit and then immediately shrinks into himself, realizing that he's overstepped, and he follows.
No, Brawk. Hey, keep doing that. Look, come on. No. Speak it with your chest. You're doing good. You were doing good just then.
It hurts. Ugh, exhausting.
Pain is illusion. It's okay. Don't worry about pain. It's nothing.
He looks you up and down.
So,
No, that was it. He just looked you up and down like, who the fuck is this guy? Wow, specimen.
so, are you all following the direction that the man went? Did I miss a hand?
I think Hawthorne was saying something.
Oh, Hawthorne.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say Hawthorne, sort of trailing behind everyone else as they're already starting to walk, goes, "Son of a bitch!" and then starts following them.
That was an absolutely worth getting in there, because that's beautiful character development. So, you follow through this large, dark train station. It wasn't dark where you were. It was dark outside that you could see in the sky in the glass ceiling above, but there were electric lights humming all around on the platform where you were all deposited. But as you exit that platform, the lights are off everywhere else. There are no other people here. You don't see anyone else on another platform. You don't hear any other trains. You just hear the sound of the pattering rain and the thunder and the click of your steps. And as you push through the large, heavy metal doors of the train station, idling right outside is a car. And all of you know what cars are. It has its classic 1930s, 1940s style with the long front section, the tall interior and tall doors. It is sleek black. And the door to the back section is open, and the gentleman who introduced himself as Rahadin is standing with a large black umbrella, the rain pouring down from it. But the umbrella covering him and the door to the vehicle. There are streetlights outside that aren't on, but you see them. Many of them are covered over with vines, different plant matter, some even completely fallen away to rust. And he simply stands there waiting.
So,
I think Karina's gonna walk just a couple steps out into the rain, not towards the car, but like a couple feet away. And do I see any stars? Do I see any light coming from anywhere at all in this area?
It is, so as you step away and look around, in terms of stars or light from the sky, it is very heavily covered with low-hanging storm clouds. So seeing them, a little bit difficult. You do get glimpses of the moon through, if you look long enough. But looking around, you can't see very far. Outside here, the fog is dense and heavy. At a certain point, just like a wall. You cannot see very far out here at all. For all you know, there could be a well-lit house 120 feet away from you, and you wouldn't know it, with how heavy the fog cover here is. You see the headlights from the car piercing forward like arrows into the fog. And because you look around for light, you do also, very occasionally, get glimpses of this thin, red light like knives cutting through the fog from far off in the distance, high up. You can't make out any details, and it's barely a speck. But you do see it.
I think after a minute, she's going to wander back towards the group of people, not the umbrella, not the car. She's just going to kind of place herself beside Nyne, I think. Kind of shake off the rain a little bit. I have no idea where we are.
Me neither. But you know what? Sometimes that's the best part of being on an adventure. Just waking up and not knowing where the fuck you are in a place. The start of a good adventure, huh? What was your name again?
Karina, but I would have to beg to differ. Unpredictability is terrible for an adventure.
We'll see.
Is he holding the umbrella out to us?
He's holding it so that as you duck to step into the car, you won't get rained on.
Oh, okay, so we don't have to walk through the rain to get there.
Only about 10 feet of it.
Excuse me, sir. Rahadid, was it?
And
you do intend to bring the umbrella back over to escort us to the car, or certainly you couldn't possibly be in charge of our transportation.
And he purses his lips for just a second. Just for fun, let's go ahead and make this a persuasion roll. So a 3.
A sense of entitlement doesn't necessarily translate to being persuasive in this instance, but
Also,
she truly does think he needs to escort them.
and I love that. And as a quick aside, as a game note, when you all are rolling on Foundry, please also tell me the result, because I might not have Foundry open. But I see that you got a 3. But I also will say there are external factors influencing this roll. And so as you say that, he purses his lips. He doesn't look pleased about it, but he shuts the car door and goes around to the trunk, which he opens, and he pulls out a additional umbrella that he tucks under an arm, and he walks over to where you are, and holding the open umbrella under his arm, opens it and holds one over himself and one out so that he can, if all of you got pretty cozy, he could cover all of you in one trip. It is a relatively large umbrella.
Brawk will not take the umbrella. He will remain behind everyone else and follow them.
I will definitely take the umbrella. In fact, I'll get quite close and just daintily drape my arm across his.
You... Sometimes, if you catch someone's eyes right, you can see past masks that they have built. Make me a notice check.
I am rolling almost exclusively threes. It was almost a 10 on the D10.
Well, If it's a 3, I'll say what you notice then is the masks. You notice that there is a face that you see, and there is definitely a different one. And he doesn't, as you drape on him, he doesn't flinch or respond. Very military, very rigid.
She doesn't really notice. Just doesn't want to get her wings wet.
And the gentleman who introduced himself as Rahadin escorts all of you who will to the car. And as he once again opens the door, lets you all in, and shuts it slightly, masking the sounds of the rain from outside. We hear as the driver door opens and shuts and Rahadin enters the car. And as it starts to pull away from the train station, let's take a break. And we'll come right back here in about 5 minutes or so. Great job, everybody! Woo! I'm proud of you. Oh, this is fun. All right, so 5 minutes, quick break. Don't go anywhere. See you soon. And we're back. Thank you all so much for being here, first of all. I know that there have been a lot of redemptions, especially by Smallville, in the stream. I can't redeem those while I am playing or DMing, and I forgot to turn them off. So I will do those after the fact, and at the next stream I'm on. I'll owe you a lot. Thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate it. So we are going to go ahead and jump back in. The car pulls away from the train station. You quickly lose sight of it as it is swallowed by the heavy mists and fog. For a long time you kind of drive in silence. It's one of those interior setups that is clearly intended to drive around people who get driven around, and the way the seats are set up so that you can all sit and still look at each other, where all of the seats face inward. The interior of this vehicle is done in shades of black and red. The red is very occasional. It's mostly black in here. Black leathers, black mini bar style setup with decanters and crystal glasses. And you just hear the sound of the rain. If you were to look outside, you would see as occasional dark looming buildings pass by. Windows barred or shattered or boarded up. No lights. The car drives on. After about 5 minutes of silence, who's the first to break it?
All right, who wants a drink? Like, honestly, like, I'm pretty sure this here. Katrina, you want something? Brawk, you want something?
I don't think alcohol agrees with me. Well, maybe it does. And he offers his hand out.
Gloria, do you want some? Want a drink? Go. It's raining really loud, like it's hard to hear.
Sorry. What did you say?
My ears messed up. I said, do you want a drink?
Oh, yes, darling. I'd love a drink. Thank you.
All right. And Hawthorne? Come on, big man.
You're muted.
You gotta speak into the good ear. Over here. Speak into the good ear.
You are still muted, Sally.
Hawthorne fixes himself out. I'm gonna go and pour everybody a drink.
I'm sorry, I was in my own headspace, yeah. Toss me a drink.
It's alright, here you go. Think this is... Okay, it smells like rum.
He doesn't
Okay,
even
what's
look at
rum?
it, opens it, and just chugs.
Refresh, here you go.
Karina will not take a drink from you, Nyne, but she's going to pour her own. And as she pours it, is there like a little ice box or anything, or is it just decanters?
Is just decanters, and
Just decanters,
it is 2 different decanters, one of which seems to have wine, a deep red color. Another is a very clear liquid, and a still clear liquid. And as you pull the crystal top off that and give it a sniff, it's botanical. It's gin.
She will pour herself a very small glass of gin, and then she's just gonna sit and just kind of like whirl it in her hands. She won't sip from it, but she's just gonna sit and just like lightly twirl the liquid in the glass.
I'm gonna take like a sip of my drink and then try to like hide my face of like strong. Okay.
That's exactly what Brawk does when he goes to drink it. He just winces a bit and goes in again as if the first was a fluke. Same result. Let's hope it agrees with me. So far, negative.
Okay.
Hawthorne finishes it off. Oh my goodness. I can't believe you just shot that. I'm real proud of you. I drank a little bit of this and I was like, oh, that tastes good. I gotta take that slow.
Hey, it tastes like grapes, honestly. So it's fine. Like really, really good grapes. So, Mr. Rahadin up there said that, we all got a letter or something like that. Anybody remember a letter?
I can't even remember a train.
I'm gonna pat through my pockets. Do I find a letter on my body?
You do find a letter on your body.
I will pull it out. I mean, I'm assuming this is the letter. Can I open it and see what's written on the paper? As I'm assuming we never actually read the letter.
Oh, you all read the letter.
Okay.
It's just you have
Not
no
that we
memory of
remember.
reading the letter.
Also, Ethan, just a kind of technical question here. How many hours has it been since I cracked the letter in the first place?
You don't know? May I ask what this is for? If it's for a rules thing, I can let you know. If it's just out of curiosity, you don't know.
It's to see whether or not I would be coming down from my trip or not.
Ah, well, I would say that you are still within the time frame that you aren't having negative withdrawal effects.
Okay.
You aren't high anymore, but you are not deep into it at this point.
Okay. Perfect.
The letter that you open, that had gotten crumpled a little from where it had been, was it in a bag? Was it in a pocket? Where did you find it on your person?
I think she would have found it like tucked in her jacket pocket.
The letter that you read is from the mayor of a town. Says that he is the mayor of a town called Bridgewater. He speaks of his child and the land itself being afflicted by something. In your letter specifically, it then delves into things like, I know that this is no longer your area of focus or study, but an expert hand might be needed. There is also mention of reward and wealth, reward and fame if you aid in doing so. And the signature at the bottom is signed Kol Indirovich, Mayor of Bridgewater.
Are we in Bridgewater? This doesn't seem like a Bridgewater kind of town, though. I mean, be my guest and read this. I don't even know what it means. And she's just going to pass the letter, like, kind of toss it onto the center table where the alcohol drinks are.
Were you going to say something, Hawthorne?
I was just wondering what she was reading. She just tossed it to us, so we're good. We're all square.
No problem.
Does seeing the letter trigger my memory at all? Do I recognize it?
Do you pat yourself down or go through your bags?
No.
Then
You're looking at
it. You're looking at it and you have no recollection of that.
Yeah. I must not have gotten one.
Nyne at this point will search through his bag, just to see if his effects are still there, or if there is a letter.
I'll let you answer that question. Would Nyne have kept the letter? Or, excuse me, would the person Nyne was have kept the letter?
Grand Pantera? Yes.
Okay,
He would have.
then yes, it is there.
Hey, looks like I got one too.
It reads almost identically.
And I pull out one too. Look at that.
I have one as well.
Gloria, I'm pretty sure you got one too.
Did we know each other before? Is that how you know that I got a letter?
No, I would definitely remember someone as gorgeous as you if you were in my life. I would have remembered you.
Oh well, you're quite nice yourself. I'll look and see if I have one. I don't think I do.
That tracks to me. That does track to me.
I'm
But I
pretty
will
sure
ask.
she would have lost it the moment she found it.
So here's a question then, Gloria. You don't find a letter because of what you just said. Do you find anything else on your person, though? In your bag?
I'm
or-
initially a little bit shocked because inside my clutch there are things, which, who knew? I have no memory of putting them there. But inside I see a string of beads. I see more kind of like loose knickknacks of things that look like maybe they could be used for something. You know, when you see a pretty charm and you just want it. There's a bunch of those, like little tiny charms, little coins. But then strikingly, there's also just bits of jewelry, little things, and kind of intermixed with those are also scraps of paper with notes that are kind of alarming, like check behind the doors, like spirits, question mark, just like random little notes and tidbits of like, oh, I should remember this, stick it in the bag.
But that type of note that is so specific and ambiguous that unless you were the person making the note, means nothing to you. You don't have enough context. Clearly made by a
anything,
brilliant mind.
It stills a little bit of a sense of dread. As I look at them, I feel this nagging sense that there's something I should know, or I should recognize it, and yet I don't. None of it looks familiar.
And I do just want to reinforce that as you are looking at these notes, you have no memory of making them. You assume it's in your bag. But whoever did write these notes, whether it was you or someone else, is clearly a very intelligent, albeit you can already start getting some vibes just based off of the handwriting, slightly and eccentric, but a brilliant mind. Just by the way the notes are written, just by the terminology in here.
Hawthorne's still searching himself, and he finds brass knuckles. And now he's actually interested in something, because he could care less about the letter. So he puts on the brass knuckles, and he's hitting Nyne. He's like, hey man, look at these. And so in one hand he has his brass knuckles, in the other he's still holding the decanter, slowly drinking from it, because he's about 300 pounds and he ain't getting drunk right now. And he's getting kind of upset about it.
Which decanter is Hawthorne drinking from, the wine or the gin?
Well, he started with the wine, and he set it aside when people set the gin decanter down after they filled their glasses. And he's like, and he smelt that, and he's like, yeah. And so he started drinking that.
I will say, this is pretty good gin. It does have some, it feels very potent. Now, you are large, and it's not impacting you, but you can still have the awareness as you drink it, and you get a little bit of, that's slightly akin to gasoline. But it is also good. So you have these brass knuckles on and the decanter in the other hand. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. So I look around, I look at Nyne, and I go, are we gonna fight something? Like, why do I have a weapon on me?
You have a weapon?
You start looking...
We should all...
Go ahead.
We should all lay our stuff out on the table. Everybody, search your... Gloria, don't look at me like that. You're gonna search your pockets. I'm gonna watch you search your pockets, Gloria. We're just gonna make sure.
Did you guys notice that red light?
And as Gloria points this out, you all look out the right. Well, I guess it depends which way you're facing. You look out the east window. And because of angling, you have to get a little low to see
your horns, Hawthorne.
what Gloria is talking about. But you see, high up in the sky, a large, blinking, flickering red light in the shape of what looks like a 2 or a Z.
Who puts a 2 on a tower? Is there a first tower?
It's a pretty important number. I mean, 2 is pretty relevant to a lot of different cultures and different societies. I mean, I don't know. Could be something like that. Smallest prime number?
I think it has less... I think it is a letter. I think it is a C.
What a shame. I thought that they might have some interesting knowledge of math or something, but yeah, I don't know.
Just some interesting 2 trivia.
But Hawthorne, was it? Darling, I don't know if you know this, but not many dresses have pockets. You can see what's in my clutch if you want.
I'm just trying to figure out what we all have. What are we trying to do here? Are we gonna fight somebody? Does everybody have a weapon? Are we supposed to fight each other? Is this a death match?
I think at that, after watching everyone take sips of the gin, Karina will finally actually take a sip of her glass before putting it down. And then she's going to start pulling things from her pocket. And...
Really quick, Karina. As
Yes.
you, and we'll jump right back to where you were. As you take that sip of alcohol, there is such a pleasant tingle that runs down your spine. It is... You can feel your shoulders relax slightly, like sinking into a comfortable pair of pajamas. And you just feel not compelled to drink more, but you have the absolute, unequivocal realization you like that.
Sorry, dog visitor. She's gonna like pick the glass up again, look over a little bit confused because this is more of a instinctual thing built into her, so she can't remember why. But then she'll place it down a little closer to herself, and then start pulling things out of her pockets. She'll have like a very small little cigarella case and flip it open to find it's empty minus just one cigarella left. And there'll be like a very small little notebook with random sketches. Not artistry, but more like what somebody would see when they close their eyes. Kind of drawn into this book. Almost like a dream journal, but makes very, very little sense. And
Like a
few
dream
odds
journal.
and ends. Yeah, like a dream journal. And then a few odds and ends. And she doesn't know why, but she feels like there should be more. She feels like she's missing something, and so she's going to kind of frantically search her bag, which is just like a little small clutch-like purse, and search her pockets again and not find it, but not even know what she's looking for. And after the second or third search, she will take a larger sip from her glass and just kind of flick through her little book a little bit and just go a little silent, I think, watching everyone.
You all will see this.
Oh yeah. She's not hiding shit.
Nyne.
Well, I guess it's my turn to dump stuff out here on the floor here. And you're just going to see him take his bag and dump it on the floor. And you're going to see some cigars fall out. A gold lighter. This handmade cute little mouse toy. It looks like a mouse toy, but it's a cute little mousey that just drops on the floor. Nyne will quickly pick that up and put it in his top pocket. And don't worry about that. And you'll see flyers for like some type of event, but it's kind of faded. And a couple of cards that the faces have also been smudged out, kind of water damaged. And I don't think that's about it.
Man, you got a lot of stuff in your persons. He starts patting himself down. I got a rope. Well, you guys saw the brass knuckles, and then, well, I got this sort of braided thing too. I'm not sure 100% what it is, but it makes me feel nice when I hold it. So we're gonna keep that to myself. Puts that back in his pocket.
I don't have any weapons, and Nyne will kind of like flex his hand, and he'll see claws comes out. Oh,
And the claws that you see come out, first of all, Nyne is a good-sized fellow. Like you said, you were what, like 6'4" and well-muscled?
6'5",
6'5".
260
So
some pounds.
he's got mitts. And these claws that as he stretches his fingers just curl out from where they had been concealed are sharp. And it's then that all of you also, as Nyne opens his mouth in a moment of confusion. Look at it. You also notice how long his fangs and his teeth are. Predatory, tearing, piercing teeth.
I'm going to immediately try to flex my fingers just to make sure claws don't come out. I'm going to try to be a little bit subtle.
No claws.
Okay.
And you also notice on Nyne's hands that on his knuckles, the fur is kind of gone and you just see calluses. That's new, I think. Oh, I got fangs too. Huh. Anybody else got any cool things they can do?
I think I can fly.
That is a cool thing.
That's actually really cool. I'll give you that one. That's cool. I got horns. That's all I got. You got wings. I got horns.
They look great.
I think Karina's just going to take another even larger drink and just kind of hold her hand out to Hawthorne. Are you done with that?
For a pretty woman like you, sure. There you go.
And
She'll
as
pour her another glass.
Hawthorne passes this over to Karina, Gloria and Brawk, what did you find on your person? Was there anything, Gloria, in addition to the notes that you described, that you found?
There's some jewelry that's loose in
yes.
her bag.
Yes.
There's in particular like a string of pearls, and it looks like she was trying to make it so that instead of a necklace, it was like a bracelet, and so she was rethreading and like adding some different knots. She's wearing kind of jewelry already, and maybe noticeably and kind of interestingly, tucked in the pocket of her bag, there's a ring, but she's not wearing it, and it's just there. So that's all I have with me.
And Brawk, what about you?
As he pats himself down, he feels something on his arm, and he rolls his jacket up, and there is I appear to have a small firearm. So that's added to the armory. And he sets it down in front of them. And in addition, as he's patting himself down, he feels on the inside of his jacket, there is a leather panel that has several loops, leather loops on it. But there's nothing in them. And as he fiddles with them, he gets the distinct impression that something is supposed to be here, but he's not really sure what. I don't seem to have anything else of use, much to my luck.
You got some iron on you, though.
I do indeed, and gestures to the small revolver.
You feel like you know how to use that?
And he wipes his palms on the lapels of his jacket and kind of straightens himself up. No. But I do believe that I probably could. And he pushes his greasy hair out of his face and slicks it back. I do believe that I could perform when it arose necessary.
You all notice more light occasionally passing by the windows as the car continues on. Streetlights buzzing and creating these orbs of light through the mist. And you feel the car start to come to a stop. Front door opens and closes. Karina.
As I start seeing lights, do I see any other people, or is it still ghosts?
Make me a notice check.
While people seem distracted with the car stopping, I'm going to just quickly reach in my purse and grab a small comb. Darling, Brawk, here.
I got a 9.
Okay, noted. And Gloria, you were saying?
I just slipped Brawk my comb.
Okay.
And he looks at her ever so gratefully, but slightly embarrassed. Wipes it on his pant leg and then goes to comb it back. And it looks quite nice out of his face.
Correct me
And
if
he
I'm
wipes it and hands
correct
it
me
back.
if I'm wrong, but I see Brawk as a type of fellow who has a side part.
He does, and he has a single white strip right down the middle, and his hair is very wavy and unkempt and greasy, and it's a mess. But now it looks lovely thanks to the Gloria comb.
Karina, with a 9 on your notice, you start looking out the window before the car comes to a stop. You do catch sight of someone going into one of the squat, repetitive buildings that form a long block of nearly identical brownstones. And you see as someone is walking in a door, dim light pouring from it into the fog and then shutting it behind them. You also notice, though it's so brief because you're driving, but you catch a quick glimpse of a human man wearing what looks like a decently well-tailored suit, but is currently slumped up in a corner against a stairwell. Rain pouring down on him seeming to take no notice as his mouth just kind of opens and closes slowly like a fish out of water. And then it's gone. You're already past it. But the car comes to a close. You hear the driver's door open and shut. And just a few moments later, the car door that you entered through is opened once again. And Rahadin is standing outside. The umbrella still where it was over him and over the door. And he just kind of leans in. "Welcome to Bridgewater." And then stands out of the door, out of the way so that you can exit. We watch as the 5 of you step from the car. After each one of you has gotten out, Rahadin shuts the door, gives you all a collective nod. "I will see you all soon, I have no doubt. Enjoy your stay." And walks over to the driver's side door and begins to get in. Karina, I see your hand.
This is really random. But when he leaned into the car, what does he smell like?
Cologne. Sandalwood style cologne. Smells good. Smells pretty good. Smells like he is frequently around someone who might appreciate good smells. I'm sure there's a word for someone who has a wonderful nose, and I don't know what it is. Hawthorne.
Am I allowed to have taken the bottle of gin with me?
Define allowed, as in the game? Absolutely. I don't think Rahadin would have, said yes, please, but he doesn't say anything about it as you still have it in your hand.
Okay, because Hawthorne will get out of the car with it in his hand and go, "Thanks, man," and then just walk away.
Before you know it, the driver's side door is shut again, and the car pulls away, splashing its right tires into a pothole full of filthy water and leaving the five of you somewhere entirely unfamiliar. There are very few people visible here as the light rain still tips and taps around you. Off in the distance, maybe about 100 feet ahead of you, maybe a little bit more. It's tough to know when the fog covers so much of your points of reference. But you see in the gray distance a flashing green neon sign, along with several street lamps casting their feeble light into the fog, quickly absorbed by the heavy mists. And as the five of you stand still and take in your surroundings, the fog covers your feet and seems to almost try to crawl up you. As you all are looking towards that flashing green neon sign like a beacon, you hear the sound of a screaming baby echoing through the streets, and the five of you turn to see what caused it. And you just see that row of low, squat, identical homesteads slouching shoulder to shoulder off into the fog, but you don't see the cause of the sound. When you turn back towards where the blinking green sign was, it's gone. And all you see is a wall of milky mist, tendrils like fingers stretching towards you, and those occasional slices of red light coming through from that blinking red Z. And as you're still trying to reorient yourself, as where you were seems to have changed without your say-so, you hear a small voice from behind you. Beg your pardon? And that's where we will pick up in episode 2 of The City of the Crimson Tower. Woo! Thank you all so much for playing this game. You all did amazing. This went even better than I could have expected. Thank you, players, for playing this game so much. Oh, we will be back here with episode 2 in 2 weeks. This game will be every other week on this channel. And if you happen to miss an episode, not only can you watch it on our Twitch for a while, watch it on our YouTube, a week after the live show is my goal to have the audio up on the Go Buff Yourself podcast on Spotify so you can listen to it. And I do very little editing of... Oh, that's right, it's not that, it's podcast. I do very little editing of the podcast. All I really do is take out the gaps between asking for a roll and getting the result. That's the main thing. Other than that, it's still the exact same show. So, thank you all for being here, and we will see you then. Please don't go anywhere so that we can raid. I also want to say goodbye and goodnight to our wonderful players. So as we go around, please let people know where they can find you, what you're doing next, all of that. Let's go ahead and start with Lauren. Where can people find you, and what are you up to?
I'm on the internet. Good luck. And I'll see you there. I'm currently working on level 10 Fern, cosplay wise, and I am consistently rolling dice with some of these fine folks on Twitch, and you can find me on the YouTubes and the Spotify now. And I'm just really grateful to be here, and I'm glad that you guys were here too. So thanks for hanging with us.
Mav.
My name is Mav. I'm a black guy on the internet.
There it is.
I play video games here on Twitch at DigitalClubhouseTV. I play a wide array of assortment of games. I'm currently working on Baldur's Gate 3, still in Act 2. That's a lot. I've also rebooted up Fallout 4 because I was bored and I was like, hey, we'll just play this. And I play a lot of Helldivers and Fortnite. So yeah, if you're into that shit, come watch me play games and get angry at them.
Matty.
Hi, I'm Matty, and I am Mythical Cosplays online, basically everywhere. I occasionally join Ethan and Lauren and a couple other folks for random TTRPGs and one-shots and shit. And if you follow my Instagram, I might start streaming my own game. I'm still talking to my players and seeing if they're comfortable with it, but it's very possible I will start streaming with them. Warning though, we tend to run up to 7-hour sessions, so it's a slog, but it's really fun, and I hope to
Respect.
do more streaming because I find this really, really enjoyable. So yeah, I don't even know what I'm making next cosplay wise. I just finished like 3 builds, and I am
Take a
probably
break.
gonna do Vax from
Take a
Critical
break.
Role. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't do bricks. You know me. But yeah, that's me.
Sally.
Hi, I'm SallyQuinnCreations. SallyQuinnCreations at literally everything you can think of. Instagram, everything. We're doing a lot of paintings right now. We did some wonderful characters for the stream, which was just amazing. And we've pretty much been leaning on art. We're going to do a lot of frozen body paints this coming month, which is going to be fun. And I'm also going to be at Oklahoma Galaxy Convention with these wonderful beans. I'm going to be helping them at their table. So if you guys are going to be going to Oklahoma Galaxy Con, you guys need to go and see them at their table. Ethan's going to be DMing like the whole time. So I'm like, Lauren, I got to help you. Plus, we got to kick you over there so you can enjoy some DM and fun. So that's what's going to be great. Ah, I'm so excited.
And last but not least, Anna Margaret.
Hello, I'm Anna Margaret. You can find me everywhere on the internet at It's Anna Margaret. I'm super excited. I have 2 conventions coming up this month. I'm going to be a cosplay guest at Phoenix Fan Fusion. If you like watching me play D&D, I will be playing in the actual play on the stage there. And so I am super excited. I'll be cosplaying my character, and this is my first time playing D&D in front of a live audience. So if you're in Phoenix and you're at Phoenix Fan Fusion, definitely come watch me play. I've got all the imposter syndrome of feeling like the least impressive person there, but it should be so much fun, and hopefully it'll be great. The very next weekend, I am also a cosplay guest in the tabletop area of DreamHack Dallas. So if you're in the Dallas area, they have lots of on-demand one-shots and D&D games throughout the entire weekend, as well as Magic the Gathering and all the other tabletop games. So come see me there. I'll be bringing my new Fallout Nuka-Cola cosplay to at least one of those cons, and it will be exciting. So come see me if you're there.
And I am Ethan. I am online with Lauren, Thousand Faces Cosplay. I'm also the buff DM. And speaking of playing D&D live, I will also be playing D&D live for the first time in front of an audience at Oklahoma City Galaxy Con. I will be both running games for patrons, so you can sign up to play those. I'll be doing a D&D 5e one-shot, and for anyone interested in playtesting Daggerheart, I will be running the sample one-shot for that. I will also be DMing for, we are getting confirmation, some of the gaming guests on the gaming stage, so you can come and watch that. So that is what we have going on here. Not this Saturday, but most Saturdays, Lauren, Mav, and I can also be found streaming the Wild Beyond on Misty Mountain Streaming, and on the Tuesdays that we aren't doing this, we're on Identico at the exact same time. So if we're not here on Tuesdays, we're there. You can find us every Tuesday for TTRPG content. So we are going to initiate a raid so that we can show some love to Sir Pfeffers. They are also playing some D&D right now. So let's get this going. And until we see you next time, friends, which will be in 2 weeks, same channel, same time. Thank you again so much for being here. And what do we end this one with? Go buff yourself? What do we? You know what? We'll work on the outro phrase.
Yeah,
Double
we'll work on
bicep
that.
flex. Go buff
We'll
yourself.
workshop.
All right,
Go
fine.
buff
Until we
yourself.
see you
We'll
next
workshop.
time, friends. Go buff yourself.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for being here.